Picture this, holding the title for the most luxurious goods empire in the world. That's the astounding achievement of LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy. It's hard to fathom that the mastermind behind these awe-inspiring bags and accessories once battled homelessness on the gritty streets of Paris. But it's true. His story is a testament to the classic rags to riches tale. So let's dive into the captivating journey of this genius. As a young boy, Louis Vuitton was surrounded by artisans, carpenters, and farmers in his hometown of Invention, Franche-Comté. But tragedy came when he was just 10 years old. His mother, a hat maker, died, and his father soon remarried. At a tender age of 13, Louis felt lost and disconnected from his stepmother, so he took a brave decision to set out on a life-changing journey in the spring of 1835. With nothing but determination, he embarked on a 2-year journey on foot to Paris, hoping to find a place where he belonged. During his travels, Louis hustled and worked his way through odd jobs just to put food in his stomach and keep going. Coming to the bustling city in 1837, Louis was instantly captivated by the fast-paced industrial environment of the capital. He obtained work as an apprentice to Monsieur Maréchal, a successful trunk maker and packer. Under Maréchal's supervision, Louis polished his talents. He gained a great passion and appreciation for the art of producing excellent leather items. Notwithstanding the hardships he faced as a young apprentice, Louis quickly established a reputation as one of the business's most knowledgeable and innovative practitioners. His meticulous attention to detail and dedication to quality set him apart from the competition, and soon the most stylish and rich members of the Parisian society began to want his creations. Louis Vuitton's talent for crafting exquisite boxes skills quickly earned him a reputation as one of the greatest in his field. But it was a chance encounter with Eugénie de Montijo, the wife of Emperor Napoleon III, that catapulted him into a whole new world of aristocratic clients. From that moment on, Louis Vuitton became the personal box maker and packer for the elite and royals. With such prestigious endorsements, his business skyrocketed to new heights. This led Vuitton to establish his own company. Louis Vuitton's ambition was about to come true amid the bustling streets of Paris in the middle of the 19th century. Despite growing up in poverty and struggling to make ends meet, he possessed an innate talent for designing and crafting exquisite trunks and luggage he believed could stand the test of time, but never knew could become the luxurious brand we have now. Louis Vuitton was driven to realize his concept of an innovative trunk style that would be useful and fashionable. Louis Vuitton was a man ahead of his time. He noticed that the rounded top trunks, which allow for water to run off used for travel, were not stackable, which made them difficult to transport. And this triggered an idea in him. What if he could design a flat-top trunk with waterproof materials, making it possible for trunks to be piled on top of others to make traveling easier? With this innovation, he could revolutionize the luggage industry and help people travel more easily. After much experimentation and hard work, Louis Vuitton created his first flat-top trunk, which he covered in a lightweight and durable material called Trianon canvas. This material made the trunk airtight and protected the contents from the elements, making it much easier to transport. It was an instant success. As word of his innovative designs spread, Louis Vuitton's reputation grew, and he was soon sought after by wealthy travelers worldwide. His trunks were practical and stylish, featuring intricate designs and patterns unlike anything else on the market. The demand for his products was so high that he opened a workshop and began producing trunks on a larger scale. In 1867, Louis Vuitton participated in the Universal Exhibition in Paris, where his trunks were showcased alongside other innovative designs. The exhibition was a great success, and Louis Vuitton's reputation as a master luggage maker grew even stronger. Despite the triumph of his newly established business, Louis Vuitton had a lot of challenges before and after achieving this great feat. Other luggage makers quickly copied his designs, and he struggled to protect his intellectual property. To combat this, he developed a new design called the damier canvas, which featured a distinctive pattern and a logo that read Marque L Vuitton déposé, or L Vuitton registered trademark. This design was so effective that it remains a hallmark of the Louis Vuitton brand. Louis Vuitton died in 1892, yet his legacy endured. His son, Georges Vuitton, took over the company when his father passed away and grew the brand's product line by introducing fresh designs and items that appealed to tourists and fashion enthusiasts alike. Georges Vuitton, an ambitious and enterprising man, was not content to follow his father's tradition. No, he was committed to making Louis Vuitton a global brand associated with luxury and excellence. In 1886, Georges invented and patented an ingenious locking system that made it impossible to pick the lock off their trunks. This lock's still used today. At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, he intended to display their goods in a daring move that would alter the company's history. The business introduced its renowned monogram canvas in 1896, which featured graphic symbols materials derived from Japanese Mon patterns. Distinctive designs like the LV monogram, quatrefoils, and flowers would be crucial in the struggle against copycats, emerging as an instantly recognizable mark of exclusivity and wealth. The next stage for Georges was to introduce the high-end brand to America. He kept traveling to new places around the nation to share his enthusiasm and add a little elegance to American shores. Customers gladly embraced the opulent and cutting-edge things that Louis Vuitton had to offer, making the trip a great success. The steamer bag, a smaller piece of luggage made to fit within Vuitton trunks, was first introduced in 1901. As the company expanded, it opened shops in several places, including Bombay, Alexandria, and Buenos Aires. At that time, precisely in 1913, the company added the Louis Vuitton building, opened on the Champs-Élysées, among its assets, which soon grew to be the biggest travel retailer in the world. The company's growth continued, and new locations opened in London, Washington, and New York as World War I raged on. In 1925, LV collaborated with Coco Chanel to create a handbag. But this wasn't just any bag. It was a dome-shaped masterpiece that was meant for personal use, not just for travel. Fast forward to 1934, and the world was finally ready for this game-changing handbag. Louis Vuitton was given the green light to mass-produce the bag for the general public, and fashionistas everywhere rejoiced. It was the perfect combination of style and functionality, and it quickly became a must-have accessory for anyone who wanted to make a statement. Practical, fashionable, and instantly identifiable, these bags quickly established themselves as a trademark of the Louis Vuitton name. Georges Vuitton tragically passed unexpectedly in 1936, leaving a lasting legacy of invention, originality, and steadfast dedication to luxury, and setting the stage for Gaston Louis Vuitton, who soon ushered in a new chapter in the brand's history. Louis Vuitton would become well-known and a benchmark for quality and style in the following years. The company's had an enduring impression on fashion and luxury products, from its renowned monogram canvas to its cutting-edge baggage designs. And although Georges Vuitton's no longer with us, his legacy endures thanks to the success of his business, which is a monument to his steadfast vision and tenacity. The moment when Louis Vuitton struck a pact with the devil was one of the darkest periods in human history. When the Nazis occupied France during the Second World War, many people had to decide whether to survive or forfeit survival with morality. On the other hand, the Vuitton family opted to work with the Vichy regime and gain financial advantage by doing business with the Germans. The family's involvement with the Nazi government extended beyond simple commercial dealings. They established a factory where more than 2,500 busts of Marshal Philippe Pétain, the head of Vichy, were made. This was just one instance of their unsettlingly direct collaboration with the adversary. The acts of the Vuitton family were chronicled by French journalist Stéphanie Bonfantini in her book Louis Vuitton, A French Story. The current owner of luxury brands, LVMH, attempted to refute the book's assertions but did not dispute any of its facts. A spokeswoman for the publisher, Fayard, observed that LVMH tried to bury the book by pretending it didn't exist. However, the Vuitton family's involvement with the Nazis will always be a part of the organization's history. Although LVMH distanced itself from the family's World War II behavior, the tale serves as a sharp reminder of the moral conundrums people and organizations encounter in times of crisis. The battle for Louis Vuitton began in 1987 when Hennessy and Louis Vuitton joined to form LVMH. The merger was intended to provide diversification and protection against hostile takeovers. Yet, the two leaders, Alain Chevalier and Henri Racamim, fought shortly. Henri Racamim was the son-in-law of Gaston Vuitton after he married Odile Vuitton. He took over the company in 1977, and even after the merger with Hennessy, he continued to run Louis Vuitton as if he were the only owner, producing friction between the two businesses, Louis Vuitton and Moët Hennessy. Bernard Arnault was brought as a peacemaker, but in 1987, he set his sights on LVMH. His goal? To acquire the rights to Dior perfumes and increase his control over the iconic fashion brand. With the help of the alcohol brand Guinness, Arnault snagged a 24% stake in LVMH the following year. But not everyone was thrilled about his arrival. Some shareholders viewed him as a liability, a ruthless businessman whose style didn't mesh with the world of fashion. But one person who welcomed him with open arms was then-President Henri Racamim. Racamim saw Arnault as a potential peacemaker, a way to resolve the conflict between Louis Vuitton and Moët Hennessy. Little did he know, Arnault had other plans. Arnault wasted no time in bidding to wrestle control of the company out of Racamim's hands. Despite reports of Louis Vuitton shareholders planning to halt his creeping control, Arnault responded with his most consequential business move yet. He pumped in a whopping $600 million of his own money to snap up another 13.5% of LVMH, augmenting his total share to 43.5% and becoming the largest shareholder. But even with his newfound power, Arnault still faced resistance. Henri Racamim, once his ally, had thrown his weight behind the resistance against Arnault's takeover, and after after losing a court battle challenging Arnault's ownership stake, Rachamim admitted defeat and stepped down from his post. Or was he ousted? It depends on whose version of the story you believe. One thing's for sure though, Bernard Arnault was a force to be reckoned with, and his impact on the fashion world would be felt for decades to come. Bernard Arnault, the mastermind behind LVMH's acquisition, has developed a luxury brand empire over the last 4 decades. His interests have always been fashion, fragrance, jewelry, watches, and luxury wines and spirits. He has an eye for quality and an aggressive acquisition strategy akin to Warren Buffett's investment technique. Arnault buys high-quality firms intending to hold them permanently rather than focus on short-term earnings. He sees the long term, preferring brand history, growth, and loyalty over financial results. When Arnault took over, LVMH suffered from declining sales and a poor brand image. Arnault's first move was to enlist the help of some of the most well-known fashion designers to revitalize the brand. He named Marc Jacobs as the creative director of Louis Vuitton, and the company soon recovered. Jacobs' designs were fresh and original, and he re-established Louis Vuitton as a premium market leader. Arnault also made significant acquisitions, expanding the LVMH portfolio with brands such as Fendi, Givenchy, and Celine. These brands supplemented Louis Vuitton's offerings and served to diversify them. The strategy was successful, as LVMH sales increased consistently year after year. While the comeback of Louis Vuitton was amazing, Arnault's leadership also benefited the other brands under the LVMH umbrella. The wine and spirits segment of the corporation, which includes Moët and Chandon and Hennessy, experienced substantial revenue growth, particularly in emerging regions like China. LVMH has a thriving jewelry and watches industry, including names such as Bulgari and Tag Heuer, and the fashion, wine, and spirits divisions. With the advent of the luxury watch market and growing demand for high-end jewelry, this category has steadily grown in recent years. Arnault and LVMH are well positioned for continuing success in the future, establishing their place as the king of the luxury jungle. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to see this video. And until next time, ciao!